My name is Harry. I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Alright, so this is my last one for this video. Alright, so that's this here. OMG. Andrea Mitchell said during Trump's first year in office, he asked Putin, should I be arming Ukraine? And Putin said no. I mean, I just don't understand this. And then they kept all of this information away from the public. And it's now they're saying it because they realize their tactic, hijacking all form of communication, all mainstream media. People are not listening to them. As a matter of fact, I'm hearing on Twitter, more people are shutting mainstream media down. They're not even watching them. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson to immediately gather White House advisors to tell them, quote, we have a real problem. Okay, so let's listen. It's a minute and 1 second. I don't think I want to go to the Oh, there's this here. Are there any videos? Sometimes people put more videos. Okay, then I'll listen to that video as well. Where is it? That one. Is that a video? Yeah, it's 15 seconds. All right, so let's listen to that one.
Last week, the New York Times reported that in his first year in office, Donald Trump, in his first meeting in Hamburg, Germany, with Vladimir Putin, having been briefed by his then Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, on how tough to be with Putin in that meeting, that in that meeting, a year before the sort of notorious meeting, the summit that they had in Helsinki, he asked Vladimir Putin, reportedly, according to the New York Times, should I be arming Ukraine? And Putin said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And Tillerson came out and in real time told the other advisors standing there, we have a real problem. So there's a pattern here of conversations when he was president, certainly in Helsinki. And of course, since, very unusual for these kinds of conversations to be going on with a major adversary. You know, according to anybody who's ever covered national security.
Okay, let's listen to that. What is this about? It would have been nice to know that before. Thank you. 2017 Trump admin tried to lift Washington sanction. They won. What? Okay. 2017 Trump admin tried to. Okay, repeating the same thing. Yeah, I said it on the day. I think 2020, 2021. I said that was treason. That was what was happening. All right, but let's listen to this. 15 seconds, and then that's it.
Black and white. Much of this town has been worried about Trump and Russia since he became president. So the White House drafted an executive order that would have lifted sanctions imposed on Russia over Ukraine. Senior administration officials and the intelligence community successfully lobbied against it. Black and white. Much of this.
So that's that. You know what? Since I have some time, let me just bring some of the other videos or tweets that I had and I was ignoring. Let's see this one. Okay, let's pause. Today, our port are open. Dockworkers are poised for a record hourly wage increase, and critical supplies can keep moving in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. The agreement that made this possible demonstrates the power and importance of collective bargaining in America. That happened, what, last week or so? Okay, so these are the conversation that was going on. This is video, okay? I'm not even gonna go to some of the comment. Maybe, yeah. So let's listen.
Because it was a relatively short strike, we believe the economic impact will be manageable for the country. And meanwhile, of course, a big economic impact for the workers. They have been able to secure a raise in this provisional agreement that was reached, $24 over 6 years for a group of workers who were watching their counterparts on the West Coast get a great deal and saying, how can we participate in the profitability of shipping in recent years the way that the workers on the West Coast have. They went actually without a raise at all in some years under their last contract, just because it was negotiated in a tougher economic circumstance. And really glad to see that these workers are going to get much deserved raises. Because it was a relative...
Okay, explain. I'm seeing this comment here. It got my attention. Let's see here. Thanks to DeSantis, not you. Isn't DeSantis a Republican? And some of the thing that he's doing is pretty much against the Democrat? I don't think so. I don't know how the conversation went, but I don't think... You know what? I'll go into some of the comments and see what some people say. Thank you, Pete. Great job keeping our shipping ports open. Nice work. The president and his administration, winners, vote blue. All right, so let me go into this person who's saying thank you to DeSantis. Okay, I knew something will happen. Nope. Biden administration, acting labor secretary Julie Su was an important administration liaison working with both the union and port ownership group to reach a deal at meeting held in New Jersey on Thursday, according to a source familiar with the talks. According to some Wenson source. All right, it's all about meaningful solution. Why be petty when solution help everyone? Peace. That's true. All right, so let's get out of this. Let's do the next one. I think it's making reference to the strike as well. I hope it's a video. Nope, it's not. Okay, breaking the Biden-Harris administration was instrumental in getting the port strike settled so quickly. Both sides named Pt2, that's the guy who was just talking in the last video, as the man who got it done. Notice there is no bragging from Biden or Harris or Pt2. This is what real leadership look like. I'm amazed Trump hasn't taken credit yet. Okay, so he retweeted this person. We're told Pete Buttigieg was the point man for the administration and getting the agreement to suspend the port strike, named specifically by both sides in the press release. Okay, it's quiet but effective leadership people appreciate. Alright, so there's that. That's it. I'm not gonna go in the comment. This has been resolved. You guys already know about it by the time you see this video. These are things I just didn't have time to record, and I keep on pushing them. So let me just get rid of them now. Since now with the list that I've already set, I decided to make it to video. Next to it. So now this is Magic Johnson, who was, oh my God, it's long. I didn't know it was that long. I don't think I want to go over it. I'll just do this first one and that's it, because this is out there already. It was since October 4th. Today is October 11th. So you guys probably already know about that. If you want me to go back to it later on, if you didn't see it or you don't see it online or you want me to go over it, I'll come back to it. Please put the timestamp. I'm just going to go over this one only. Magic Johnson opened up the Harris rally in Flint, Michigan with a strong endorsement of Kamala. All right, so it's 1 minute and 14 seconds.
To elect my friend Kamala Harris, President of the United States. I'm here because I've known Kamala for over 20 years. Cookie and I supported her run for Attorney General back in the state of California, her run for Senator, and now we support her as the VP, but now the biggest moment for all of us November the 5th, we have to do all we can to elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. She wants to build up the middle class, and I know something about the middle class because I come from a middle class family. My father worked 30 years for Fisher Body.
Okay, so that's that. There's more. As you can see, this is a long thread. If you want me to come back to it, I'd be more than happy to share it with you. So let's move on next tweet, because this is old. I kept on pushing it. I just never had time. All right, let's pause this. For those not confused about how government works, but are still confused about whom to vote for, listen to this guy. Maybe he can help you out. All right. Oh my God. 5 minutes and 39 seconds. Let's listen. Hopefully I don't have anything to say in between.
I want to tell you a couple things Donald Trump has done for our country. This is my wood shop. A year and a half ago, this shop had 3 people working in it full time, making furniture, tables, benches, end tables, cabinets. I was working 60 hours a week, doing roughly $30,000 a month in sales.
Wow.
I employed 2 people, full time, paid them $20 an hour. And then Donald Trump, in his infinite wisdom, decided his methodology for dealing with trade would be to impose a regime of across-the-board tariffs on all kinds of products, including lumber. And the price...
There's a video on YouTube that Mark Cuban had a conversation with another YouTuber, I forgot his name, where they discuss a lot of important issues, tariff and all of that. So go search for it. If I see the thumbnails of that video, I'll put it. But when you hear other successful people, business people talking about those things, business kind of things, and how Donald Trump has destroyed the things that was working fine, it's good to listen. And I think this was one of the reasons that I put it. All right, so let's continue.
Price of the most common piece of lumber that we used to make our products, just this one for example, in 2017 was $23.67 for a 1x12 8-foot sheet of radiata. By the end of 2018, it was $54.
Wow.
By the end of 2020, it was $73.
Wow.
And I don't care who you are or what business you're in, if your cost to produce increases 300%, you either pass that cost on to your consumers,
Yeah.
or you go out of business. And that's what we did. We shut down the retail side of our manufacturing business. Now we only do wholesale, because that's all we can afford to do. We sent home 2 employees, one of whom had to go out and find another job. The other one is still unemployed. That's what Donald Trump's economy did for my small business. It destroyed it, decimated it, robbed us of 60% of our revenue. My wife had to go out and get a full-time job for the first time in 8 years. 8 years, our small business supported us, bought this house. And after the Donald Trump presidency, it was over.
Okay, I'm assuming, okay, the wife was probably doing the paperwork for the business and things like that. So some people might say, oh, maybe she did need to get... Well, if it was supporting both of them and he's doing the manual things, the wife probably was doing the paperwork and things like that. Okay, that's my assumption. Let's continue.
And I'll tell you something else Donald Trump did for this country. I lived from the time I was 17 years old until I was 33. 16 years I spent living in Center City, Philadelphia, in the roughest neighborhood of North Philadelphia. I grew up in one of the roughest neighborhoods of Philadelphia, in Kensington. These scars on my face are from fighting, getting hit with bottles, bricks, bats. And despite that fact, despite the history of violence that I grew up with, when I moved out on my own into Center City, Philadelphia, a neighborhood everybody thought was too dangerous to live in, I never once, not for 1 minute, considered arming myself or purchasing a firearm for my own defense. I was mugged 4 times, once by 3 people. And I still never considered owning a firearm. Not for a minute. It never even crossed my mind. And now, in the age of Donald Trump, I get threats so violent, so over the top, so vicious and unhinged, that's exactly what we've done. We have armed ourselves against our fellow Americans because they're that sick, because they're that violent, because they hate everything and everybody. That's what Donald Trump has done for America. These people have turned from fellow Americans to political opposition to the enemy in service of one man. And I don't hate anybody. I don't begrudge them their political beliefs. You can believe all the lies you want. I don't care. Watch all the Fox News poison your brain can handle. I don't care. But what I do hate is what Donald Trump and MAGA and his toxic, caustic, poisonous, deranged supporters have made me into.
All right. You know what I like about social media to a certain extent is that after mainstream media have been hijacked by the Donald Trump type of people to pretty much lie to people, tell people BS, is that individuals, myself, this guy, and many other people, took it upon themselves to share their truth. Okay? So that's that, and I hope other people could learn from that. Alright, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet that I had. I don't know if it's a video, because I had those for a while. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, I thought it was a long thread. It looks like a long thread. Alright, let me pause this. Let's see here. Okay, Denson, Donald Trump, for his entire administration, censored hundreds, if not thousands of people from criticizing him. If it were not for my work in the courts, okay, is he putting, let's listen to this. I don't want to read everything. Let's listen to that. It's 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I have a feeling it's because it's the text of everything she said here.
Donald Trump, for his entire administration, censored hundreds of, if not thousands of people from criticizing him. And if it were not for my work.
Okay, so I'm not gonna read this. It looks like this is the text of the thing that she's saying here. All right, so let's continue.
In the courts would be silencing them for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives. Let me just portray the Trump NDA to you in a way that I haven't before. This is an NDA. Just let's put it in the context of Kamala Harris for a minute. Imagine that Kamala Harris right now and Tim Walz have every single staffer, contractor, and volunteer that goes to work for their campaign. Because right now, you know, a volunteer, you know, maybe they're engaged for the first time, they support Kamala Harris, but who knows? You know, they might change their mind in a few years. Who knows? But right now they're going to work for her. And she's going to make them sign a non-disclosure and non-disparagement agreement that says that they cannot speak one word of criticism against her for the rest of their lives. This is North Korea type stuff. Demanding allegiance to a leader for the rest of their lives. for the rest of their lives. And not only can they not criticize Kamala Harris, but Doug's kids can't criticize them either. Whatever business they're engaged in, I think her stepdaughter is in the fashion business too. She makes some design. We can't. Any staffers on that Kamala Harris campaign can't criticize anything relating to her stepchildren either. Anything remotely related to Kamala Harris, these people would be silenced and censored on for the rest of their lives. So I ask any Trump supporters out there, how would you feel about that? Because that's exactly what Donald Trump did to every single one of the hundreds, if not thousands, of staffers, independent contractors, and volunteers that worked on his campaign in 2016.
Wow.
And I fought tooth and nail, starting with a pro se lawsuit in 2018 to get these NDAs lifted. But they were not ultimately lifted entirely until almost 1 year ago today, when we freed, in a massive sweeping victory, every single last one of them. And not even did I get my full freedom, even though I spoke out in spite of it, until 2021. So that means that for the entirety of Donald Trump's re-election campaign, he was silencing hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Talk about censorship. J.D. Vance, you're damn right. Censorship is a very, very serious threat to democracy. It's why our First Amendment has free speech in it, because it is at the core of a free society, the ability to criticize your leaders. And Donald J. Trump tried to strip American citizens of that right.
Okay, so this is the text of that's script. I meant to say transcript at the time of the recording. I can't think of the word transcript. That's the transcript of what she said in the video. Let's move on. FEMA. Okay, these are all the videos or tweets that I keep on pushing. All right, let's pause this. Okay, Dano F up. 4 years after lying about COVID, he's lying about FEMA. Listen to this woman. Everyone impacted by Helen knows Biden-Harris came to their aid. Dano just handed Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee to Kamala Harris. That's if they see it, because he's spreading lies. Many of these people, I don't know if skin color is what dictate to them which part of their brain that should open up to do critical thinking, or black critical thinking. I don't understand, but let's see. I hope they see it. This is one thing I think, as much as I hate the process, the endure, some people have lost their life due to Trump's inept kind of ability. Take for instance the Roe versus Wade being turned over, and women have lost their lives because of their pregnancy, needed some special care, and doctors were afraid to not be prosecuted and lost their lives. So his inept ability to I don't know, critical thinking for some people, it seems like skin color is what dictate them to see reality. But with that being said, let's listen to her. Oh my God, 4 minutes. All of the videos are long. Let's listen.
I need y'all to hear me when I say this. If you're one of the people that's getting online right now and saying that FEMA's only giving out $750 in assistance, or that FEMA's out of money because they've been diverting it towards the border or for migrants, or that FEMA is confiscating donations and money, you. And I mean that to the depths of my soul, with every fiber of my being. Because the only thing that tells me when you say shit like that is that you have been so fortunate to never have to use FEMA, to never have gone through something like this. I cannot describe to you the level of rage I have experienced over the last few days, watching y'all spread this mis and disinformation that will get people killed, that will keep people from getting the money and resources that they need to recover. There are multiple programs that you can apply for. Do you want to know how I know that? Because after Ian 2 years ago, that $750 is immediate assistance. That shit showed up in my account 6 hours after I applied for it.
Wow.
I applied for an SBA disaster loan for my business. There are multiple ways you can access money. There are multiple agencies. Do you want to know why FEMA's being tied to the border right now? Because it's under the control of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Do you want to know who did that? You can thank George W. Bush and Dick Cheney for that shit, because they did that after 9/11. FEMA's not running out of money because they're diverting it towards the border or for immigrants.
What Trump is trying to do, seeing all this money going to the people, if he went, whatever plot that they have to steal the election again, he wants those money, in my humble opinion. When he see all this money that's sitting there waiting to go to the people, and he probably have some deranged thinking going, I don't know, but let's listen. And the money that they're providing the people right now is not for a long-term kind of thing. It's like for right now. If you need certain thing that the government cannot provide you, you could go out and get it yourself with the money. $750 is not a lot. They know that. It's just for immediate assistance. And there she is, she's explaining it. Okay? And knock on wood, may my family never be in that position to need it. Let's continue.
They're out of money because Congress doesn't give them enough fucking money. If you're mad about the cap being set at $750 for emergency assistance, or that they're running out of money, call Congress. Take that fucking phone you recorded that shitty ass video on and call Congress. Call your senators, call your representatives, and let them know there needs to be supplemental emergency funding right now.
As a matter of fact, as of right now, I think Congress is not in session right now. And a lot of Democrats are asking the speaker to call for session, because I think yesterday there was another hurricane that happened, and they need to provide assistance, money, and things like that. So they need Congress to vote on things. So some Democrats have written a letter to the speaker to open the House for session so they could vote on important things, because the people need them. They don't care. I don't know. Okay, this is one thought I was thinking of and I lost chain of thought. What Donald Trump is doing, it's opening up all the problem, all the little crevices of our democracy, the issues that he's opening them all up. So we have an opportunity. If we jump this hurdle, people vote the right way, when the next group administration come in session, is to fix that. Because for instance, when Roe versus Wade was overturned, I was sad it happened, but at the same time, I was kind of relieved it happened, because there's so many people who were blind and seeing what was truly important, the consequences of certain things. Now that they did it and we know the consequences, they literally face the consequences. Okay? It opened people's eyes. This is one thing that Trump has done. Yes, it is scary. People have lost their lives, but it really opened American eyes, because we have been in a state of stability for so long. There's issues, okay? A lot of issues. Gun violence, all sort of little issues. But when you're looking at outside, just compared with other countries that go into turmoils, we don't have those type of things. So we have been so very comfortable. So he pretty much opened people's eyes, in my humble opinion, because the things that I was seeing, and people were unhinged. They didn't care. Why? Because it wasn't them. The things that were happening, it wasn't them. When police are shooting unarmed people, it wasn't them. So they didn't care. It's not white people they're killing. It wasn't them. There's Trump who's saying he wants full immunity. Anybody, okay? If he get in office, anybody is not safe. Even if you on his team, you're not even safe. Because if he knows he could carry out anything, guess what? You have a problem with him, he has a problem with you, he could carry out anything, and guess what? He's immune from being prosecuted. So nobody's safe with this type of mentality, this type of system. So he opened people's eyes. That's the only thing that I see. Okay? Black, white, Hispanic, Democrat, Independent, all of that. He's opening everybody's eyes, because this was some of the issues we were lacking of. so many people did not see it until it's starting to be reality to some people. They were like, oh, wait a second. No. Okay, so that's that. Let's continue listening to her.
Needs to be a disaster relief bill right now. I would have loved to see this level of outrage and anger and righteous indignation 6 years ago when it took Congress 12 months to pass a disaster relief bill after Hurricane Michael. The way that some of y'all will just get on the internet and say absolutely anything, it's wild to me. Do you think people aren't going to fact check you? Do you think that there are people who haven't lived this before? I don't know what goes through y'all's heads. You're like posting these videos for money, for clout, for your own selfish reasons, to suckle at the chode of some politician who doesn't give a about you.
That's
they
right.
Don't give a single solitary goddamn flying about you. I cannot emphasize to you enough how much
The background automatically changed. When she was saying about politician doesn't care about you, what was it? There was a hurricane that happened somewhere in the south, and it was gonna go through Texas. What did Ted Cruz did? He took his family and fly to Cancun or something. All right. So while the people, his constituents, were going through some turmoil, guess what? He was relaxing. I don't know what needs to open those people's eyes. I really don't. All they see is the skin color. I really don't understand. But let's continue.
harm and damage you are doing by posting those things, saying those things, commenting those things, spreading that misinformation. You have no idea what these people are going through. You have no idea what the recovery looks like because you have never been through it before. This is barely scratching the surface.
They have no sympathy, no empathy, nothing. So that's why they don't care. It has, in some videos I've said, in order for them to understand it, they need to experience it. That's the only way. And I think this is what's happening here.
And you don't know that because you haven't been through it before. There are aspects of this recovery effort I am struggling to wrap my mind around, and I've been through it before. Like, especially up in the mountains. This storm essentially flattened 5 different states. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. Like, the sheer magnitude of this storm.
And it's mostly Republican state. And I've already seen the thing that they're gonna do about, they're gonna accuse because of the election. Be ready, okay? Be ready for that. After, November 5th, when things don't go their way, you're gonna see. Because of that, the storm that just happened is storm after storm after storm. You're gonna see. The election is gonna... Anyway, look what happened to January 6th. So they'll do anything.
And for you to get on here and say things that are wholly unhelpful, spreading mis and disinformation that is causing irreparable harm, so if you actually want to be helpful, call your senators, call your congressmen, and let them know FEMA needs more money right now. Let them know that they also need to change some of the parameters and who gets access to that money, because I can tell you there are some people who get denied for FEMA assistance. If you don't have any relevant, true, accurate, helpful information to share, shut the That's a real easy one. And lastly, thank you to everyone who is actually being helpful, whether that's sharing or reposting accurate, truthful information, whether that's sharing information about organizations to donate to, whether you're donating money or supplies, or you're physically volunteering. Thank you to those of you who are being helpful in doing something that matters. It cannot be overstated how important that is and how thankful people who are going through it or have been through it before are of you and your help.
All right, so that's that. All right, watch every second of this. Isn't it incredible? She is so articulate and passionate. All right, truth straight up. All right, so let's go to the next one. All right, looks like I forgot all of these were in it. All right, so this one is Dolly Parton here. Dolly Parton is a national treasure example. That's the number here, donating $1 million to Hurricane Helene relief. Okay, I feel like I recorded this already. Am I putting it twice? But whatever it is, let's listen to this and then I'll go to the next one. It's 1 minute and 6 seconds.
This is my home. And I just want all of you to know that, like Eugene was saying, you remember when we had the fires, everybody pitched in, tried to do everything that they could. And so I really think that this is a time for me to step up again, for all of us to step up and do what we can. And of course, today I wanted to announce that from myself personally, just from my own bank account, I'm donating $1 million today. But But there's a lot to be done, and we're trying to find other ways to even raise more funds. But also with our my Dollywood companies and all the people I'm involved with Dollywood and Eugene and all of the partners that we have with our Stampede, and of course the Pirates Voyage, and of course the Dollywood Foundation. And we've added another $1 million to that 1 million. So we're starting out with a good little hunk. And like I said, we're trying to find other new ways to make money because it's going to take a lot of money, as you know.
All right, so there's that. Okay, total $2 million donation between her and her Dollywood Foundation. Okay, so that's that. I just want to share some of these that I was piling up and never had a chance to share with you. Okay, so I have this here with 2 links. All right, so apparently Kamala Harris went to, what is that again? Something, call her daddy or something like that. So let's listen to this. Look like the talking point or out. This is the second person to post this. The draft ended in 1973. Okay, let's go into that. All right, let's pause it. There will be a screenshot when I play this video. Call her daddy girl. Quote, are there any laws that give the government control over a man's body? Kamala Harris, no. The correct answer is the draft. All right, let's see here. 35 seconds. Is that a thread? No, it's not a thread. And I think this is on YouTube or wherever her podcast is. Go check it out, but I'm just sharing what's here, okay?
I want to pose this question more to you and the daddy gang, but one of the biggest conversations in this year's election revolves around a woman's body.
Yep.
I want to take a moment, and can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision.
I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body. Let's
No.
just pause.
No.
Is there any law?
No. No. It's
No.
I want to pose this question.
Okay,
more
it's
to
playing
you.
again. Okay. Dude, we have all volunteer military. I chose to serve on active duty. I wasn't forced to serve. But Republican politicians want to force women who conceive to have government mandate pregnancies. Get the difference. Okay? So, that's Ted Lieu. That's a senator. Okay? No one has been drafted since 1973, but thanks for playing. Okay. What did the person... Okay, so where did that come from? Whatever, let's leave that alone. I have one more under it. I don't know what it is. And this is my last one, okay? Okay, so what is that? Where did that come from? From the 2019 WellChild Award, where Meghan and another mom reassured Prince Harry about Archie's lack of hair. So this is where I read that. Remember how I was saying at the beginning of this video, I think I read something about that. So this is where I read it. Okay, Harry said Archie had no hair for 5 months, but Meghan told him she had taken him to the playground and there were other children. There were other children there with the same amount of hair or even less. Okay, I talk about this someplace else. Why is, I don't know, maybe when I was reading the tweet to put it on the list? I don't know. I'm just gonna stop here. All right, so that's it. Any of the tweets that I run through, I then go to the comment. There's one that had a long thread with different videos with Magic Johnson. If you want me to go back to them, make sure you put the timestamp on the in your comment so I could go straight to it so I know what you're talking about. Because if I have to listen all over again after I talk here, and then when I'm editing, I'm going to listen to myself. And then you not putting the timestamp for me to listen to the entire video again, it's not going to happen. Put the timestamp so I know where the video is so I could go back to this list. Okay, this is the list with all of the links. Okay, I could go back to and say, okay, I could go to it. Okay, so this is why I asked the timestamp. And sometimes I put the timestamp on the side of those tweets as well in the description. All right, so That's it. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. If you could be a member, that would be great, because when you are a member, as soon as I finish edit those videos, you get to see them right away. That's the only incentive I could give you as a member. You don't have to wait until I schedule them. But anything else, specials, prizes, I don't have time for that. Okay? You become a member because you want to support my channel, and the only incentive, it doesn't matter which tier you choose. I forgot the amount that I put for the tier. You pick the one you know you could afford. Everybody's gonna see the exact same thing. Nothing special. Occasionally, maybe if I have something special, there's one, for instance, the PDD one, this will never be public. Okay, it's only almost 4 minutes. This will never be public. It's for members only. But let's say, for instance, if I want to do that, but I just never have time, the things that I did over the summer with my kids and things like that, I want to share them with you. I just never have time to do it, and it's not a promise. I don't promise anything that I could deliver, but I'm only mentioning it because it's been in my mind, but I just never did it. The only thing I could only offer is that as soon as I finish edit and I upload them, let's say, for instance, there's this one I was just uploading. There's no issues. Okay, let me pause for a second to get the thumbnails. Okay, like for instance, this video, by the time, oh, the thing is not coming. By the time you see it, okay, this video, it's season 4 episode 234. I schedule it for October 20th at 6 a.m. Part 1 is the 19th. You're gonna see it. But guess what? If you are a member, from member to public, what date do I have next? Let's look for the date. Okay, this is part 1. Okay, I've already edited, put it, uploaded. My subscribers already seen it. Okay, I scheduled it for the 19th. This one is gonna be for the 20th. Okay, the 20th at 6 a.m. This is where everybody will see it. Okay, that's the only incentive. I schedule it for members only, then to public, and then the public will see it the 20th at 6 a.m. but my subscribers will see it right now. Okay, so that's the only thing I could offer. Anything else, I don't have, unless if later on I have something I want to share, maybe, but I'm not promising anything. So this is the only incentive I have for members. And if you want to be a member, it's just because out of your good heart you want to support my channel, because YouTube, you see, is really not doing much. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, So we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better